All right, guys. We are on this call today to talk with Miss Krstyle Jackson here. And I asked Krstyle to be on this call because I know several of you have been asking me lots of questions about recruiting and just feel like maybe your recruiting isn't quite where you want it to be. And so I wanted to have Krstyle talk with you guys some because I know that when it comes to recruiting, she is the bomb.com. And so she has been with Pampered Chef for 7 years, and she promoted to executive last November. And so this is her first year. You just had your 1 year as an executive. Mm-hmm. So yes. She got trifecta last year. If you guys don't know what trifecta means, that means excellence in 3 categories. She got excellence in recruiting, she got excellence in sales, and excellence in developing leaders last year. And she was actually in the top 5 in our company for developing leaders. Okay, so she knows her stuff. She is amazing. And so that's why I wanted to have her on the call, because I don't know if you guys saw the picture I posted of her yesterday. She was in the top 20 of the company last month for recruiting. She's always up there with recruiting, having multiple recruits every single month. And her team does a lot of virtual parties. And I know Krstyle does a lot of virtual parties, and she does cooking shows as well. And so she is someone that she's recruited in cooking shows, she's recruited in virtual parties. And so I wanted her to kind of share in both avenues how she has found success. So Krstyle, I will let you take it away and share with us some of your best tips.
Okay, awesome. Well, I like it to be interactive, not just I talk the entire time, because I'm happy to share, but I also want to make sure that I'm answering questions that are relevant to things that you have in your mind, or a struggle that you've had, or something like that, because I don't want to finish our chat today in the next, 10, 15 minutes or so, and you're like, well, that was great, but that doesn't really answer my question or an area that I really need. So I'm going to share just a little bit, and then, like I said, I want to hear from y'all. So if you don't already have a question or a thought, you have a few minutes to think about it. Yay! So I will give you that so you can start putting those thinkers on at the same time. But recruiting and what I consider sharing the blessing of the business is one of the biggest things that I am passionate about when it comes to Pampered Chef, because at the end of the day, who on this call has been blessed by this business? Who loves their business? Who's making money? Who's loving the products, the discounts, like everything that comes with it, the friendships, the personal development? You name it, you have been blessed in some way, form, or fashion, right? Okay, so at the end of the day, we all want to take that and share it with other people to be able to help them experience the same thing. So is everybody sharing? Yes? Okay, Sarah, this is crazy. You're upside down. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it's kind of weird. I'm sorry. I'm like a little kid. Squirrels easily distract me, and you're upside down.
I just said the same thing. I was like, I don't know which direction to look at her exactly.
What's happening with Sarah? Having a different kind of party. Anyways, but that is for me where it starts, is your heart and your passion, because you have to be the most excited person in the room about what you're doing and what you have to offer. And it's not like, oh, hey, will you please join my team? I just need a recruit. Please, please, please join my team. No, that's called begging. And we don't do that, because I'm not begging someone to join. I am offering them the biggest opportunity that they don't even know is the biggest opportunity to join an organization, a company like ours that has so much to offer. And so, it starts with your belief. Do you truly believe that you have something amazing to offer? Yes? Hands? Oh, yeah. All right. Because I know, some are eating, some are distracted, like driving, all that craziness. So I may not make you talk the whole time, but I like interaction. So I know you're there and paying attention. So belief is where it all begins, because you have to be excited. You have to be passionate. about it. I'm not saying you have to be like crazy and jumping off the walls like maybe I do, but there's different degrees of passion depending on you and your personality and how you decide that you are able to share with others what is important to you. So, you know, people tell me I'm like loud and crazy. I can't be like you. That's great. We don't need a ton of me. We need everybody to be their own person and deliver their love for the business with people. So it starts there, and then it moves to your mindset. What is your brain telling you? Is your brain telling me I can't get a recruit? I can't share the business? Nobody's interested? This is too difficult? If only I was like Melody? If only I was like XYZ, whoever else is on your team? Whoever you compare yourself to the company. So if your brain is always telling you these things, then you know what's going to happen? Exactly what you're allowing your brain to tell you. You're not going to recruit. You're not going to grow your team. You're not ever going to be like so-and-so. We've got to tell our brains the things that we want it to be thinking versus listening to what I recently heard compared as the paranoid monkeys. I like it a lot. I like it a lot because what happens is something, you know, somebody doesn't respond to a message, somebody's a little hesitant, whatever it may be. And then the paranoid monkeys in our head go crazy. Oh, she's not interested. She was interested. Now she's not responding. She doesn't like me. I've offended her. Well, what if I reach out? I could really upset this relationship. Do all these things go through y'all's head? Yes. These are things that go through a lot of people's heads. I love the thumbs up. And it's true because a lot of times people are listening to what's in their mind versus telling their brain, I have the most amazing opportunity to share with others. Why wouldn't someone want to join my team? We are the fastest growing team in the country. These are the things that you tell yourself so that your mind gets in gear with where your heart's at. So that when you're talking to people, passion and excitement is what's coming out versus whether you realize it or not. If you've got those other thoughts in your mind, you're coming across in a way that we don't want to, which is it kind of comes across as like begging or desperate or this, that, or the other, even when I seriously don't even think that we realize that it's happening, because I know I've been there. I'm pretty sure I can speak for Melody. We've all been there. We've all done that, where we've been in a place where our mindset and our hearts weren't exactly where they might need to be, and therefore we're not getting the results that we want out of our business. So with that being said, you know, kind of just hearing my heart and where I truly believe it all starts, is there a specific question or that you want to ask about, like, how do you do it in virtual parties? How do you do it at cooking parties? How do you follow up with someone? How do you get someone off the fence? Like, what are some things that might be on the top of y'all's minds before we go any further?
All the above that you just said. Starting in, I see heads nodding, but really what you just said, I think is the questions that I hear all of them asking me the most. How do I do this in virtual parties? How do I do this in cooking shows? What do I say to people that are on the fence? You know, just all those kind of things are the things I think that the majority of the people on here are wanting, you know, more information with. So maybe starting with virtual parties, some of your tips and tricks because I know me personally, I can recruit from cooking shows. I feel pretty confident in that. I don't feel as confident when it comes to virtual parties. I mean, talking with the host, engaging with the guests and stuff. But just maybe some of those things that you have really found that really help seal that deal and connect with those people in your virtual parties. I mean, would you guys agree? Is that some of the stuff that you're kind of wanting to know?
Yeah, how to get them off the fence is really where I'm at.
Oh, well, you know, people love that fence. I mean, it's really hard to jump off of it.
It's
just kidding. Sometimes I use my boot and I kick them off. But I kind of think it's twofold. Helping them work through their hesitations and also helping them see that it's really not as big of a deal to give it a try as they think it is. Because they really, really work it up in their heads. And I don't know about y'all because everybody's story is different. Some people are like totally in it from day one. I didn't have any hesitations. Others had a lot of hesitations. For me, I am a completely different person than I was 7 years ago. I would not be on this video 7 years ago. I was terrified to talk to people like in small groups, let alone a big group of our organization or even bigger like at conference. My hands would shake like crazy. And I was terrified I would fail at this business. I drove my husband up the wall for several days before I actually joined with, what if it fails? What if it's horrible? What if I'm horrible? What if it blows up in my face? What if this is the worst decision I ever made? And he turned around and looked at me with the most simple question ever, all his crazy sense making. What if you like it? What is the worst thing that could happen to you by trying this out? And that forever changed my life because he helped me jump off the ledge that I'm pretty sure us women are really good about hanging off of, most days ending in Y. And we are just so dramatic about everything. I'm not a good enough mom. I'm not a good enough this. Well, how could I even do Pampered Chef? And if you rocked out a party for them, how could I even be like Kayla? I couldn't do what she did. So it's helping them work through those hesitations. So a great thing to do is ask questions. Who feels like they ask questions? Yeah? Okay. Who feels like they throw up Pampered Chef on people? All right. Okay. So we're going to stop throwing up on Pampered Chef on people because that is naturally, unbeknownst to us, we're not aiming for it. It's a turnoff because we could give them every example possible. And if it doesn't relate to them, they could care less. And they're like, oh, well, that's really not for me. Versus when you ask the questions of, Sarah, what is it that's interesting to you about Pampered Chef? Could be the furthest thing from your mind, but what is it that's kind of interesting to you? That's not a yes or no question. I try to stay away from the yes or no questions because if they say no, you feel like you're shut down, right?
Right.
Yeah. So when they say, oh, Krstyle, that would never be for me, but I do find X interesting. You do, huh? Yeah, because they have thought about it. And so you're planting that seed with your virtual host. Obviously, your host, y'all know this. I know Melody's talked about this, is that they're your number one recruit potential, is your host. So you're planting those seeds at the beginning of the party. I've seen a lot of people that don't plant seeds in virtual parties until the end. It's not that it's too late, but in a sense, it's too late. Like, start it at the beginning, just like you would with your host coaching with your in-home people. You don't wait till you show up at their doorstep to offer them the business, right? You're offering it the day you meet them and you schedule the party. And then along the way, you're letting them know, however y'all do it. For us, it's if you decide to get started, all of the parties from your party are yours to help you get going. So you're planting those seeds along the way. And the same thing goes with virtual parties. You've got to be communicating with your host. Some people do the actual calls together. Other people do it a majority through Messenger. Outside of maybe one initial call, mine is mostly through Messenger. I'm on average running about 6 parties at a time virtually. And so it's chatting through that. But we can't just post and pray. Who knows what post and pray means? Kayla and Melissa, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to post it out there and I'm going to pray somebody messages that they are interested.
Yes. I hate it when people do that.
I mean, let's be honest. It does happen, but it's not as common as it is for when we reach out to someone. I chat with Sharon Zellen all the time, and I'm constantly getting my inspiration from someone as well. And she shares with me, just her tips that she's doing. And she's reaching out to people in the party who have been super active the entire time. This is not everyone. Typically you've got 2 to 3 people that are really active the entire time. These are the people that you want to reach out to and say, oh my gosh, Diane, you've been amazing in the party the entire time. You clearly love the products. This may be the furthest thing from your mind, but have you ever thought about doing something on the side to make a little extra money? And you just start. And I love the scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would be your interest level in ever doing something like Pampered Chef on the side to make some extra income? Because with that, it's again not a yes or no. That is a scale of 1 to 10 that you can take and find out. In my opinion, 1 to 6 is finding out their hesitation. What is their hesitation and how can I help her overcome it? I have people all the time that tell me, I am so thankful that Krstyle did not give up on me when I told her no the first 3 times. Yes, Kayla.
Can you tell I used to be a teacher? I always raise my hand. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
When you say, you ask someone on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your interest level? And let's say they say, 3, and that's all they say back or whatever. What do you say back to get a response? The only thing I've ever tried is, do you mind sharing what's holding you back? And I don't always get a response. So if you kind of share your tips from where to go from there to kind of get them back into communication, I'd love to hear.
Yeah. Okay. So I see, Kayla, that you shared a 3. Tell me more about what 3 means. So I think sometimes, myself included, dude, I overthink everything. I am not even kidding. Melody got to work on a workshop with me this summer. She knows it. So I'm really good, just like everybody else, of overthinking it, but I think it truly is that simple.
If they say nothing back from that, or how long do you wait until you message back from there if they don't respond to that? Or, what do you do to continue that communication if they don't say anything back within a day or 2 of you saying that?
Yeah. After a day or 2, I just pop them another message and say, hey, I just wanted to follow up on my last message. I never know if you got it or just got crazy busy, but I'd love to hear more about what, the 3 meant to you as far as you're on a scale of 1 to 10 interest. Because we know that everybody's so busy. So busy. I mean, Melody, what does it take me? It sometimes takes me 2 days to get back to her, and we're friends. So, I mean, it's just natural. We're all so busy to be able to respond to things. Or this is my favorite, is people can't stand that dang green dot. So they read it when they're driving down the road, they're in the middle of dinner, they're at the grocery store, and they can't flip and respond. They can't respond, but they read it because they can't help it, and then it just drifts down further and further. Does that help? Okay, yes, don't listen to the paranoid monkeys. It doesn't mean that they're not interested. It just means they're busy. So way to go on follow-up. Did that spur any other specific questions on the virtuals? Excuse me. I'll also message my host, when we book a party, and I'll say, oh my gosh, Raven, I can't believe it. We've just booked our first party. Did you know that the party can be yours if you decide to get started before the party's over? And I'll throw in a hashtag, just something to think about. And so, from the start, when you're sharing things about the business, they don't always, I try to do most everything with a question, so they have a reason to come back to me. But with the host, sometimes when you're just planting that seed, it can be things like that. Oh my gosh, Melissa, you are doing a fabulous job as a consultant or as a host. You're basically doing my job. You should probably do this. Just saying, hashtag something to think about. And I would just leave it at that. You're literally just planting the seeds sometimes, and then you're going back and asking questions. And with a virtual party, I don't know how long y'all run yours. I know everybody's all over the gamut of how long they run them, but you have the potential, if you're running several days, a week or more, to constantly be reassuring that person that they could do this. Because that's really what it is. Most people have thought, could I do what she does? And when we're reassuring them all the time, oh my gosh, you would be amazing at this. Seriously, you're in the party more than I am. You're rocking out. You're making me look like a bad consultant. There's all kinds of things that you could say, just joking around. I'm a very sarcastic person, and I like to have a lot of fun. And so I keep it as lighthearted as possible, and I will present to them, tell me, what's the worst thing that could happen if this didn't work out? What's the worst thing? And I make them answer it. If they're, I can't remember the fence sitter. Was it Melissa? You asked about the fence sitter? Yeah. I'll tell me what the worst thing is that could happen. And they're like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, exactly. There is not a bad side. Oh, geez, I got this amazing kit. I made back some money. I get to keep it. That sounds horrible. That's so flippin' horrible. Oh my gosh. And they just laugh. I'm laughing a lot. I send GIFs in the messages to them, to just keep it very lighthearted. And if somebody's really going back and forth with me, and I can tell the wheels have got to be turning, then I'll just say, why don't we just get on the phone versus writing novels back and forth to each other? It'll take 10 minutes. And then you get them on the phone and it's done. Just get them on the phone. They can hear the tone of your voice. They can hear your excitement, your reassurance in the voice versus just messaging. Really helpful. So we could talk probably virtual parties all day long. Is that a pretty good overview to answer questions? Okay, awesome. So it sounds like y'all are pretty good at cooking shows, right? Recruiting, cooking shows? Yes, no, maybe? I'm going to take the
I don't do cooking shows, so.
A lot of them have not done a whole lot. Maybe a lot of my directors do like 1, maybe 2 cooking shows a month, and the rest of them are mainly virtual. I do a lot of majority cooking shows, but. Hey, pay attention to me. Okay, and that's fine. I find a lot of people are in that boat. I do highly recommend doing a couple of in-home parties a month, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, the sales are typically higher. You're in and out. It's kind of faster than the time that we spend on the virtuals sometimes, especially depending on how many you have going at one time. So if y'all do mostly virtual, then we'll just stay on and talk about the fence sitter comment. Have y'all sent out a customer connection email on like getting started, make some money for the holidays? Has anybody done that? Okay, do it again. If you haven't done it, do it. If you've already done it, do it again. I had someone respond to me that I've been working on for over a year, and she responded to me the other day, I think I'm finally going to get started. So you never know who's looking at those, posting on Facebook. I had someone I literally knew from high school, and I just knew her, and she messaged me out of nowhere, and she's like, okay, I've been watching you on Facebook, and it seems like you really like what you're doing. I think I would be interested. So it's just, we don't always get responses from things that we do. We know that it's Facebook. And so, sending out emails, sending out Facebook stuff, it's just good to continuously do it and not get discouraged along the way. I mean, I'm no different. I get discouraged. I got to talk to myself about the crazy monkeys in my head and to shush, and, we'll keep going. And it's just finding, like, not only what do you want out of your business, but how bad do you want it? And when your brain tells you it's not going to work, do you have the grit to keep going? Mm-hmm. And okay, I didn't recruit as many people last month as I wanted. Am I going to let that completely get me down, or am I going to learn from it and keep going? Because I find that that's where a lot of us, like, it's that hurdle. Do we jump over it, or do we stay on this side and be bummed about what happened and beat ourselves up? Who likes beating themselves up? No takers, huh? Oh, Misty, you like beating yourself up? No go. Oh.
It's a horrible trait of mine.
I didn't ask if you were good at it. I asked if you liked it.
It just seems to work that way. Like, it's like a battle within myself. I can't.
You should read this book. It's amazing. The Power of Positive Thinking. I highly recommend it. Look how old this thing is. It's so old. It's got yellow pages, but it's awesome. I love it. Look
at it.
Look how old he is. He's so old. But he's got a lot of great stuff. I know he's not ever going to listen to this recording. So anyways, I really recommend it, because when you get your thoughts in a good place, you are in a much better place. And I will tell you, at the end of the day, the best thing, because I know we're almost done with our time, the best thing I can recommend is personal growth. If you don't read. 10 minutes a day can truly change your life. When I finally really experienced the growth that our team has experienced in the last year and a half-ish, was when I started working on me. Because when we grow as an individual, it overflows into every area of your life.
True.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. All right. So I know we only have a couple of minutes left. Do y'all have any other questions or anything that I haven't answered? Yes, Misty. Y'all are so polite. You raise your hands. My people just start yelling.
I do. I guess kind of back on the fence again. My biggest issue I've had with a few recruits is just they're constantly on the I can't afford it, not right now, maybe later. And I try to stress, like, this is perfect timing to do it, if you're having trouble with financial issues, but it's hard to move them over. And I've had several that are like, keep sending me the monthly flyers, letting me know what's going on. And I continue to stay in contact, but they're just not jumping. So how do you get them to push over that edge?
Sometimes when people tell me that they don't have enough money, I'll make some suggestions on get on Facebook and sell something, have a garage sale, get an early birthday present, get an early gift from someone else, borrow the money. You'll be able to pay them back within your first 1 to 2 parties. And I've had a ton of people take those options because they're not thinking that way. They're just thinking, I literally don't have the money in my account to buy this.
Right.
Even if it would help me obviously make money faster, they're not seeing that connection. Or they may, I literally had someone tell me the other day, Krstyle, I spent my last $6 on gas. I don't have a dime to my name. So sometimes it's just like you're doing, continue to follow up until the timing is right. We have a lot of noise all of a sudden, so I'm not sure. We might need to mute someone. But then other times, just providing some of those suggestions can be what really helps them. Oh, that's a thought outside of the box. I could totally do that. And people borrow money and get, early gifts, sell something.
Okay.
Lots of good options on that as well. Great question.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Yes, Kayla.
Do you have a graphic or anything that you share with your team, just kind of like a quick reference for like if they give you this objection, this is an idea of what to say to them, kind of like the idea you just shared, but just something easy to share with new consultants to help them and support with common.
I don't think it's in a picture. I think I have an overcoming objections file. Melody, do you have one of the documents, it's a PDF or something that I typically share with people?
I have one, but it's so old. It's like it's grainy and you can't read what it says.
Well, maybe Melody and I need to work on that.
Do that.
When we're sitting around bored, twiddling our thumbs.
All that free time you have, could you jump on that for me, please?
Got it. As soon as we get off this call.
Right. I expect it in 30 minutes.
You just sit there and hold your breath, sweetheart.
Don't.
I was like, don't do it. Chris will have another call in 5 minutes. She's not going to do it.
Okay, guys, this is your time. If there's anything that you have wondered about recruiting in your parties, anything, now's the time to ask her.
Ask away.
I don't really have a question, but I really like your suggestion about with even the guests in the group, how if they're really active to send them that message, because that's what with my organization, I tell them that's how you get bookings, and that we reach out to those active people that are playing the games, that are posting and all of those to get our bookings. But I never once thought about throwing out becoming a consultant along with getting our bookings from that. Almost, I would say 90% of my organization's bookings come from those active people. But I really like that idea, and I'm going to run with that. And so is everyone else in my organization, I hope.
Way to go. Yay. And do y'all do Google Forms, I'm assuming? Google Forms? Okay. Those are super helpful to find out if someone's not interested now, they might interested in the future, or, go ahead and we have a question that asks if they want to be added to our opportunity event so they can just join anytime that they want to. We also, our opportunity events are on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month. So I have a post in the parties on that day that comes out to invite them to join it that night, and they can, get 50 tickets in the party if they come back and comment on the post that they joined in. So, all right, anything else? I must have answered all their questions, Melody.
You must have. You did a great job. Thank you, Krstyle, so much. I appreciate you coming on here and giving us some of those tips and tricks, and I appreciate.
Wait, I have one more.
Okay, never mind. She's not done.
Because this just happened. Okay, so if you get an order from a guest, and you know how they can click what they're interested in, and they click interested in booking a party and about the business opportunity, what do you send back to them? What do you say? How do you approach that?
Well, the main question is that you have to decide personally is, do I want a booking and then a recruit, or do I want to recruit now?
I want to recruit now.
Okay, so great news, Susie Q. I am so excited that you're interested in booking a party and becoming a member of our team. Did you know that you can go ahead and order your kit and host your own party so you're making the money and the host rewards? Awesome.
Okay, that's what I said.
Yeah. So it really is, you have to make that personal decision first because some people need the booking. And so they're going to, you know, kind of maybe go towards kit credit more. But if you aren't, you're like you are, and like me, I'm like, shoot, I want the recruit. So you can have the booking. I don't care. So that's how I would respond and reach out. I'm so excited to have you join our team. This is going to be amazing. And then just share that they can do that. Because a lot of people don't realize that they can do, like, as a consultant, they can host a party.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Yes, de nada. But have fun. Like, seriously, when you are having fun, people are attracted to you. They want what you have. So even if a party is not going the way that you would love it to go, don't disappear. Don't disappear. Don't change how you behave, because you never know who's in that party that maybe they can't order, but they're really curious about booking a party. And so you don't want to go MIA. I know I've been guilty of it, and I know a lot of people do it. Party starts not getting the sales and we get disappointed, and then we stop engaging. And so that's a really big thing. Oh, other thing, if you don't have something, last thing, because I'm totally got to go to another phone call. If you don't have something in your party to get them to private message you, add it. Do y'all have something like that?
No.
Yes, no? Okay. So like one of ours for Halloween was pick a pumpkin, pick a number off of one of the pumpkins and private message it to me. So it's just a helpful way that they're messaging you versus you messaging them. Excuse me, and it ends up in their message sent box and they may or may not find it. Whereas you're most likely checking your message request box. So that's a fun way as well to get them to message you. And then I say, oh, congratulations, Diane, you picked pumpkin number 3. You get 20 tickets in our drawing at the end of the party. Woohoo! And then I'll say, thanks so much for participating in the party. Are you having a good time so far? And you start a conversation.
One that was in Crushing It Virtually that I've really made a huge difference in my business was in her intro video. So the video that she posts at the very beginning of her virtual party, she puts in the message and she says, watch this video and send me a PM with the product I hold up or with the game I hold up. That way you're guaranteeing that they watch your intro, see your pitch on, you know, why you should do what I do, you know, and the instructions for the virtual, and then they're messaging you too. So they're really apt to respond because they want to know if they won the extra 10 tickets they get for watching my video.
Yes, that's so smart. Thanks for the reminder, Kayla. I hadn't seen that in a while. All right.
Well, thank you, Krstyle. As you guys can see, Krstyle is a perfect example of just someone that has fun. And that's why she gets the bookings. That's why she gets the recruits, because she literally just has fun. And I say that over and over again in my cooking shows. It doesn't matter if you mess something up. It doesn't matter if you say the wrong thing. But if you are having fun, people want to have more fun with you. And that goes with virtuals and it goes with cooking shows. So thank you, Krstyle, for being a fun person.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome. And I appreciate you being on here for us. It means a lot to us. So thank you, girl. And we'll talk later.
No, all right. Sounds good. All right. Well, y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope it was helpful.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Melody, did you see my message?
Did you send it to me on my phone or?
I sent it on Zoom, so that's why I wanted you to see it beforehand. You can chat about me later. I just want to make sure you didn't miss it.
Okay. Where are the messages? Exit full screen here. I don't see a I don't see it on my chat.
That's okay. I'll message it to you later.
Okay, perfect. All right, bye guys.